Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And Verizon is now urging the FCC to reject calls for limits on the amount of C-band spectrum a provider can obtain at auction. So in the past, T-Mobile and Sprint kind of, if they wanted to participate, they kind of got the pass because the FCC knew that they couldn't spend as much on some of the spectrum. So there's always been a secondary auction, or there's always been a slice left over for them to spend on. But now that Verizon knows that the merger is potentially done and they are going to get the vast amounts of 2.5, Verizon's like, no, don't add any limits. Let each carrier spend as much as they can or want to obtain the spectrum. I've been talking to some of my contacts, and most are saying that Verizon is ready to throw the entire bank at this spectrum. So it only goes to show that Verizon may be a little concerned if T-Mobile can stack on top of the spectrum that they will already get with this merger. So that they're saying, hey, FCC, don't add any other limits. There is no back end auctions. Don't reserve a slice for the other carriers. Just let everybody spend as much as they want or can to obtain spectrum at this auction. So this is a big step for Verizon to speak out on this like this. T-Mobile, I'm sure, is still going to want some sort of restriction, because remember, early on, T-Mobile doesn't necessarily have the entire bank open. And what I mean by that is, if you think about the amount of money that T-Mobile has to spend on integrating billing systems, decommissioning stores, closing stores, breaking leases, decommissioning sites, integrating network, then there's still a coverage expansion that needs to happen. It's going to be tough to deal with if you are a merged company, a lot bigger, more aggressive competing, but yet you still have a smaller network. That's not gonna really fly too much. So they still have to work on that. They still have to add densification and add towers within the network grid. So there's just not enough money to go around to also spend big on the spectrum auction for them. So they are, of course, encouraging the FCC to add this type of limit so they don't have to spend as much but still obtain maybe 20, 40 megahertz slices of that spectrum. That's their argument. But Verizon, they're making their argument. Look, you're already letting them merge. They're getting on average 160 to 180 megahertz of 2.5 plus PCS band 25. You aggregate all that, they have 306 megahertz of total spectrum licensed. So that's a lot. And then you're still letting them slide on the C-band auction with the lower end, a bid maybe to get 20, 40 megahertz of that spectrum. So I kind of understand Verizon's point. At this point, they would, just in spectrum alone, T-Mobile would become a monopoly. But then again, it is capitalism, so everybody, have at it. But in any case, if these limits aren't set, then of course, AT&T or Verizon are going to spend the most, in my opinion. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I will leave this article in the description so you guys could check it out and read it for yourselves. But again, that's a big step for Verizon to really speak out on this. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you are notified when I upload content. Also follow all of the Tech Life social media outlets for more updates. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.